Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a good start to your week. And thank you for coming on. And we'll try and say hello to a few friends this morning as we, let me just see. Okay. Anybody coming on with me? Here you go, getting your notifications. Good morning, everyone. Thanks again. We appreciate you big time. Let me see if I can say hello to you here. Here we go. Okay. Let me see. Kevin! You're number one on the hit parade this morning that I see. I don't know if anybody's going to argue with that. Rosa. Moriel, Rosalinda, right at the top from Niagara Falls. Fran, there you are. I often miss Fran, I don't know why. And Lynn, how are you from Aurora? Frida, Mary James from Anaheim, California. And she's saying hello to Dave and Helga. Danny Lay, Iron Bridge. Nativity, good morning. Wendy from Markham, good morning. Nick from our staff is watching. Andrea, Georgie from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Cheryl from West Virginia, Karen from Innisfil, Grace from Newfoundland, Dave, how are you, from snowy Gilmore. Yeah, Sudbury got snow too. Karen, Peterborough, Gail, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, Marvel, Ottawa, Lynn Marie, Bruno, how are you? Norma from Texas. Francis from Vaughan. Patty, how are you, Patty? Darlene is from Alberta. And Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. And we love having you on. Arlene, Lori, Cambridge. Linda, oh, those Lindas. New Brunswick. Tina, Nova Scotia. Patricia. And Maria. Dave, have I said hello to you, Dave? John. John is from Sheridan, Wyoming. Hello. Etta, Maureen, Boca Raton. Ellen, Sharon from Kansas. There's Brahim. Brahim, I was waiting on you. Elaine, Teresa, Yvonne, Sandy from Vancouver, Washington, and Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Yvonne, Petawaba. Brahim was in the clouds. That's what he's saying. Marla, Sharon from Michigan. Elena, how are you? Whose birthday is it? Mary, happy birthday. Which Mary is it? Dennis, Norwich. Meta. And let's see, Milika, how are you? And Lori from Alberta. Okay, let's get to the rest of the questions, guys. Hello to everyone. We love you dearly. Thanks for coming on. And our new book, Rebuilding the Temple, wow, in Canada, released last Friday, on Black Friday. Record sales in Canada. Record sales. The fastest, out of all the books that I've written, it's the fastest selling numbers that we've ever seen. Thank you for that. And in the United States, released this coming Friday, okay? And so get your book, you'll love it, okay? Makes a great Christmas gift. You can bundle it up. Okay, guys, let's get back to the questions that we didn't finish on Friday. And let me just see here. Okay. Lucy was talking about, I think I answered this the other day about what kind of cheese is the best, and orange cheese. Well, look, like I said, all cheese is good. There's some that are good, better, and best. Okay, so yeah. The old aged cheese is usually the best, but you know what? All cheese is good. It's just good, better, and best. Okay, and then Lucy was asking about, did I answer this last week? I don't remember. If monk fruit sugar, yeah, I think it doesn't elevate your insulin, as far as I know. I'd like, guys, any kind of those sugars, okay? Be careful with them. It's just because we live in a day and age that I'm very, very careful about insulin. And, you know, some of these, like monk fruit is a natural sugar, but again, I wouldn't live on it. You know, you want to use it a little bit, I got no problem with that. But again, I'm more of a careful guy. And somebody asked this the other day because, oh, this is Carolyn. She's saying, my husband wants to know why Zero Pepsi and other brands isn't good for him. Well, look, what they're showing, okay, and we didn't know this when they first came out with these diet sodas, okay, we weren't sure, okay, so you have to understand, I was around when they came out. So, you know, and there was a lot of talk about them. Are they good for you? Is sugar better than, you know, and I used to hear that all the time. Well, better that I have a Pepsi than a Diet Pepsi. How about not having either one of them? And what they're finding out now is it doesn't elevate your blood sugar, diet sodas, but it still elevates insulin response. Okay, 1. 2, it changes your microbiome because your body doesn't know what it is, guys. Okay, I've done this over the years a lot. Like, you know, when man makes something, sometimes it can be good, but not always. And, you know, I used to say this in the days of margarine. And I used to tell people, well, your body doesn't know what that is. It can't absorb it properly. It's toxic to your body because your body doesn't know what it is. Your body knows what butter is, but it doesn't know what margarine is. It's made with synthetic oil that belongs in your car, not in your body. So your gut, it doesn't know what these, you know, so-called vegetable oils are. They don't absorb these things properly. And actually, they create an inflammatory response. So is a diet soda better than, you know, soda with high fructose corn syrup? Yeah, probably. But it's not good for you. Water's good for you and coffee's good for you. You can have a tea too, but, okay? Be careful with tea. You got a lot of oxalates in tea. Okay? So drink water. You know me, I'm very focused on drinking and drinking the right things. Lucy, this is, I don't know if it's the same Lucy, might be. Dr. Eric Berg has been quoted as saying cancer cells like iron. They will use it to multiply a lot faster. For this reason, it's best to avoid cooking in iron skillets and taking iron supplements. What are your thoughts on this? Well, he's right in one extent that cancer cells love iron, but, okay, there's two sides to this coin, okay? Because a lot of people, the vast majority of people, they don't get enough iron. They don't get heme iron because they don't eat steak, sun, steak, and steel. And when you don't eat the heme iron, that is very detrimental to your body because you are, a lot of people, especially women, are very borderline anemic, and they're not producing enough oxygen. They don't get enough red blood cells. And, that's not a good thing. Then you have the other side, okay, if you have too much iron. But too much iron does not come from consuming iron. Okay? It doesn't. It's usually too much iron, and I've done podcasts on this. Too much iron, or high ferritin, is a condition that we see a lot more today. Okay, so you have too little iron and too much iron, and that is a condition of what we call hemochromatosis. Now, what causes that? Fatty liver. It's eating too much sugar. You see, it gets back to that. That's why your iron levels will go up. Insulin resistance. That's a big factor there. So I'm big on lowering your sugar because we know for sure that cancer loves sugar. And I can tell you that cancer hates steak. Because cancer cells can't use heme iron, Heme. It can't. So Dr. Berg is right. I don't think he's right about, get rid of your iron pans and all this and that. It doesn't come from the consumption of iron. It comes from a faulty liver and insulin resistance. That's why we see so much of it today. Why do we see so much hemochromatosis? I'm a why guy. Why? Not that I never saw it, but in my later years in practice, I saw it a lot. I said, well, your liver's all gummed up, my friend. You got fatty liver. Now cut out the sugar and cut down on the carbs big time, and you'll empty your liver. And you'll see how much better that gets. Some people were bad enough that they had to go give blood or whatever, and they take blood out of them. But that was just a Band-Aid. That never fixed it. It just helped it temporarily. But Dr. Berg is right on cancer feeds off iron. But again, it isn't your consumption of it. It's not because, I had women on our multi-nutrient, formerly Blood Boost, and because they needed that heme iron. They looked like Casper the Ghost. And they didn't feel good. And it's amazing how much better they felt. Okay. Now, that was Lucy and Lucy. Okay. And again, maybe the same, maybe not. That was Carolyn asking about her husband and zero Pepsi and all this and that. Rafaela, what does Dr. Martin recommend for high homocysteine? Okay. Now, this is a measurement of amino acids, okay, homocysteine. And I always used to say that homocysteine is like smoke between the cells. And they had trouble communicating with each other. It, to some extent, is a marker of inflammation. But here's what I found with homocysteine, okay? Almost invariably, when you had high homocysteine, you had low levels of B12. B12 is the vitamin that is very important for homocysteine, okay? So if you're asking, that's the one, that's the supplement that really helps. Other B vitamins, but eat steak. You get all your B vitamins. Okay, you might have to take B12. Do it sublingually. Okay. Della is asking about her husband who's got chronic kidney disease, okay, and for around 15 years. And recently the blood work is showing that his albumin and what else was high? Okay. GFR, okay? Globular filtration rate. How it just measures, okay? GFR is a measurement of how your kidneys are filtering. And I guess her husband, okay, Della, is her husband kidneys are getting worse, okay? And with chronic and not surprising, okay? Here's the big connection. Not surprising that her husband is a diabetic. And guys, you know me, okay? You know me. I talk about this all the time. Blood supply, kidneys, eyes, brain, heart, blood supply, blood flow. Okay? So kidneys, two things. One, water, Niagara Falls. Go to Niagara Falls on the American or Canadian side. Watch what you see. Oh, water flowing all the time. Yeah? And that ought to be your kidneys. Wash out the kidneys. Niagara Falls of your body. Flush, flush, flush. Water, and only water's water, water. Okay? I don't care if there's water in fruit. That's not the same. Water. And lay off the sugar. Why do diabetics? I mean, it's not even close. You know, I did several podcasts on, kidneys and sugar, not salt, sugar. When you got too much sugar, your kidneys hold on to salt. Don't blame salt for what kidneys did. So at the end of the day, and it's not protein. Protein doesn't hurt your kidneys. I heard that in school in the 1970s. Well, I'll tell you why. Here's their deduction. We see protein in your urine. Okay. Well, if you see protein in the urine, protein must be bad for your kidneys. No. When you're eating too much sugar, you're going to get protein in your urine. It's not protein. It's not steak. It's sugar. And sugar molecules holding hands in pasta, in cereals, in rice, and bagels, and muffins, and toast, even if it's whole wheat. That's what's hard on kidneys. So your husband, okay, Della, he's got to be, of course, he's already diabetic. He's got to be extra careful, okay? You know, it's amazing, not on dialysis yet. I should have invested in the makers of dialysis machines, because only for 20-something years, really, a paradigm shift in my office, I watched it happen. Insulin, 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 insulin resistance. I talked about it on my radio show on a daily basis. Crazy, because we weren't supposed to eat around 200 pounds of sugar a year, and the things that turn to sugar rapidly. I'm not even counting that. Our bodies have been bombarded. We live in a crazy world, and it's not just toxins. It's the most toxic thing in the universe, and that's sugar. There's nothing more toxic than that. It doesn't belong in your bloodstream at all. That's why your body is dedicated to regulating your blood sugar. And kidneys they're in the crosshairs of sugar. Water, okay? Cut out the carbs as much as possible, even with chronic kidney disease. Okay. What else was she saying, Della? Okay? Yeah. And Lucy. Lots of Lucys. Now, I don't know if it's the same Lucy or what. I don't know. It could be a lot. It could be 3 different Lucys. What does Dr. Martin think about methylene blue? Not much. Like, I know they use it in IV, okay? Didn't they use methylene blue for, what is it? Tylenol poisoning? Am I mistaken about that? I have to think about it for a minute. I know they use it in an IV. And now it's sort of the new, I haven't heard so much recently, but let's say a year or 2 ago, it was sort of the new kid on the block. You know, everybody was talking about, well, gurus like me. Not everybody. But lots of people, I saw it online, and a methylene blue, like, you know, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I'm open, guys. Show me research. I'm open. But I looked at it, and you know what? All I know about the brain, okay? So Lucy's saying, well, what about methylene blue for the brain? Well, I don't know about methylene blue for the brain, but I do know what works for the brain. And is there anything like high DHA? Nope. Nope. I listened to a psychiatrist, a podcast on the weekend. And I found it fascinating because he was talking about protecting the brain. And he does brain scans. And like light years ahead of his times in terms of psychiatry, and really talk negatively about marijuana and things like that. Anyway, I found it fascinating. I had never heard of him before, but he was quite good. But he talked about omega-3 as a really important brain protector. Yeah. Well, your brain's made up of DHA. And when it comes to the brain, I'll tell you what's better than methylene blue is probiotics. Why? Leaky gut, leaky brain. Blood-brain barrier. You need to protect that. So blood flow, lubricate, replace, regenerate with DHA. I love Navitol. Why? Crosses the blood-brain barrier. Blood flow, elevates nitric oxide in the brain. So those things are better than methylene blue. So, you want to use it, Lucy? Okay. But I think you need to be careful with it. And I think there's better alternatives. That's the way I look at it. So, that's me. Prove me wrong. I'll look at the research. You show me. And I'll look at it. I mean it. Okay? I look at studies hours a day. Read. I read. So, show me something. I'm happy to look at it. Okay, I'm just not convinced. And I certainly know things that are better than that. Okay? Thanks for the question, Lucy. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Here's Barton asking a good question. I was wondering what you think of the Ionic Detox Foot Spa. Not much. I'm very opinionated. Again, okay? I'm going back about 15 years. You got to understand I had a radio show. And when you're on the radio and, people, they ask you all the questions. But not only that, because I had a radio show, it was very popular. I had people sending me, like they wanted me to endorse certain things, okay? And one of them was the Ionic Foot Bath. Look at the water, Dr. Martin. It just takes out all your toxins. Well, look, it's not that I was skeptical, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't that so much. Like me, you know me when I talk about a detox. Guys, I don't care what you do with your feet. I don't care if they hang you upside down. I don't care. You can even do a lymphatic drainage. Yeah, good for you. But if your liver is gummed up, if your liver is full of fat, you can put your feet in any kind of machine in the universe and that ain't going to help you. You can use ionic water and all, and the water changes color and all the toxins come out. No, they don't. Because your body has a detox mechanism. And your liver and your kidneys, they better be working. Okay? We talked about it earlier with glomerular filtration rate. That better be working. I don't care what you do with your feet. I don't care if I hung you upside down. Your liver and kidneys better be working and they better be empty, like liver empty. Because your liver knows how to detox anything if it's empty. Plus, you have your brain. And I'll tell you what detoxes your brain. Because it has its own self-cleaning oven. When you're sleeping. Not when you're sleeping and you got your feet in an ionic foot bath. You need sleep. And then your brain detoxes itself. So you see what I mean when I talk detox? See, I'm not so big on, let's do a detox and flush the bowel out. And colonics and that. Well, that doesn't fix your liver. So that's me, okay? That's me. I've been pretty consistent about that. And one of the ways your body goes into autophagy is when you're fasting. Or fasting without fasting. Remember, the metabolic reset, I almost wrote a book, Fasting Without Fasting, because fasting became popular. And I like fasting, by the way. I like intermittent fasting. But when you eat the right foods, when you eat high fat and protein, not carbs and protein, carbs and fat, high fat protein. Well, your body detoxes in a lot of ways because your burn, okay, it's like, I come back to the illustration of the wood stove. You got paper, twigs, you're not heating your house, a log house with paper and twigs, carbs. But when you put logs on the fire, it burns so much better. And you have so much less debris. And that is a detox to some extent. because of the fuel and the byproduct or the toxin, the waste. There's not a lot of waste. You know, a lot of people, they think if they have a big poo, fill the toilet, that's a good thing. Well, if you're eating a lot of carbs, usually that's what's going to happen because you got a lot of bulk. But what is that? What does that mean? And a lot of people are surprised when they eat the reset and they're not eating all the crappy carbs and the sugars. Oh, Dr. Martin, I'm not going to the bathroom twice a day. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. Why? You have a lot less debris to go out into the toilet. Your body's using it as fuel. The proper fuel. It's clean. It's rocket fuel. You see? That's me. Okay? So when you talk to me about doing a detox, you want to put your feet in an ionic bath, I got no problem with it. Go ahead and do it. But, you know, it's like a sauna. Do I like saunas? Or saunas? Whatever they call them. Do I like that? Yeah, I do. Really good. You get a good sweat going and you clean out those pores real good. But you can do that till the cows come home. And if you have a fatty liver, that fat in your liver, I always show fat. Okay, I'm showing fat. This is a pound of it right here. Or is it 5? No, it's a pound. Okay? This attracts toxins. And it keeps it in your body. That's why you don't want a fatty liver. Okay? You don't want a fatty kidneys either. Okay? Good question. Thank you. It gets me pontificating. Okay. That was Barton. Thanks, Barton, for the question. Appreciate it. Sandy. Does it take long to form thyroid nodules? Depends. It usually takes several years of the thyroid not functioning properly and too much estrogen, not enough progesterone. Cortisol has an effect on that too. And the liver has an effect because of T4 being converted to T3, mainly in the liver. So it's all connected. Even food is connected to thyroid nodules, okay? And sometimes because your parathyroids are right there and that regulates calcium in the body, a lot of people have calcium in the wrong places. And one of the reasons is because they're not eating enough eggs, meat, and cheese that has calcium. You need calcium, by the way. People say, well, Doc, you hate calcium. No, I don't. I don't hate calcium. You need calcium. I don't want you to take it as a supplement, but I want you to eat it. And when you eat it, in nature, God gave it to you with vitamin K2 in it. So thyroid nodules, usually not enough eating eggs, meat, and cheese. They were carboholics most of the time. Takes a while to get there. And you want that calcium taken out and put into your bones and teeth where it belongs, okay? So there's a multitude of factors involved in that, okay? And let me just see what else. I hope I'm close to EMC and vitamin D. And anything else you would suggest? You're taking vitamin D with K2, digestive enzymes, magnesium, DHA, lots of oil. You're doing well, Sandy. Good for you. Yeah, good for you. Eat well. Reg, 65-year-olds, tremors, okay, thought at beginning of Parkinson's, but he says, no, I think I answered this about essential tremors, okay? And again, I'm only going to give you, Reg, what I saw over the years with essential tremors. I always looked, and usually they had low levels of B12, low levels of vitamin D, okay? Nerves and B12 go together. Vitamin D is with everything, but they usually were low in those two. Often low in magnesium, okay? They weren't either absorbing magnesium properly. I used to put them on a citrate or a biglycinate, and they did better with that. And I used to aim at detoxing the brain through probiotics and leaky gut, leaky brain. I usually saw a fungal infection, yeast, lots of it. And so we cleaned all of that up. Liette is asking about mushroom coffee. I don't know. You like it? I like my coffee. Okay, I'm a coffee guy. Mushroom? Mushrooms can be good for you, okay? Lion's mane mushrooms, they're good for you, good for your brain. There's a lot of research on that. Do I gotta drink it as a coffee though? No. No, Leah, I'm not telling you can't have it, okay? Like you're not gonna get the benefits without the coffee bean, okay? It's the bean. And you can do a decaf as long as it's water processed, okay? And I'm up to over 200 studies on coffee. Mushroom coffee, I haven't seen too many. I've seen a few things. Looks all right. Why would I change? I'm not changing. Okay. And, she's asking, her husband's always cold after he lost 80 pounds. Well, his thyroid has probably slowed a little bit. I'd get him on temporarily for a couple of months, the thyroid formula, stimulate that thyroid gland. And he's lost a lot of his fat that used to keep him warm. That's a good question. And okay, I think David's asking about Immunical. It's a glutathione precursor. Well, I've answered this before, David, because again, Immunical's been around a long time. I actually did a couple of seminars didn't talk about Immunical, didn't talk about that. I just talked on health. Then they would bring people in to hear a presentation on health, and then they would specifically talk about Immunical. I liked it. The only problem, look, it's very expensive, and I like the research. I wasn't against it. I liked it. I don't know. I think there's better ways, in my opinion, to elevate glutathione. And emptying the liver is one of the best ways you can elevate your glutathione. So food. You don't even have to take a supplement. Now, if you're going to take a supplement, I like a precursor to glutathione is Nabitol, pine bark extract. I've studied that a lot clinically, and they've done a lot of studies on it, the manufacturers of pine bark, and very good. But I got no problem with Immunical. People that take that, go for it. Go for it. Okay? I think I got everything now. Roseanne. She's asking about, you're asking a question, Roseanne, that I get asked every week. Can I take oil of oregano every day? Because I heard you can't. Well, you heard wrong. Because you can take it every day. Okay? And I always use the illustration. I don't know if it's I think it's a good illustration. You know what is a natural antibiotic? Garlic. Okay? Does it kill your good guys? No. It actually feeds your good guys, garlic. Okay? No. Garlic's good. Very a natural antibiotic. Okay? Can you take it every day? Yep. Sure you can. Now, I used to have patients come to my office all the time, and they had a little, they chew on garlic. They'd have it in between their teeth and their gums there, and I could smell them 2 miles away. You know? But they liked it, and, what was I going to tell them? It's all right. I'll tell you what's better than garlic. As an antibiotic, as an antiviral, as an antiparasitic, as is oil of oregano. Nature's most powerful antibiotic. And it don't kill your good guys. It don't disrupt your microbiome. That's why you can take it every day. Okay, it's like garlic. It's not going to hurt you. Now, I have a hard time sometimes convincing, the gurus out there. Because as soon as they hear the word antibiotic, well, you can't take that every day. It'll kill your good guys. Well, it doesn't work like a prescription med. And sometimes you need a prescription med of antibiotic, right? But anyway, I've always pushed back on that because I said, well, you're confusing the two. You're confusing them. Am I right? Yeah, I think so. Okay. God loved them when they tell you something different, but they're not right about it. I'm sorry. You can take oil of oregano every day. It don't kill all your good guys in your mouth when you gargle with it or rinse with it or brush your teeth with it. Okay. I think I got everything. If I missed anything, let me know. Okay? Let me know. And we'll be happy to answer it. Send your questions in to info@martinclinic.com. info@martinclinic.com. We love you. Merci. Thanks for making that book #1 in Canada already. You're like amazing. Coming to the United States on Friday. Get your Christmas gifts for your friends, your family, your loved ones, the ones you've been trying to convince about health. Listen, Linda. Well, send them a book. Give them a book. Give them a great gift. And it's got it's a 30-day devotional, and it works. I mean, it's good reading, guys. I know I'm tooting my own horn, but I mean it. Okay? I did 18 of the devotionals, and Tony Jr. did 12. Okay? And we have every day a health, like our emails. Okay? Take a certain topic in health, and then we have food for your soul. Okay? Food for the body, food for the soul. Okay? And they're often connected. And I think you'll love this book. I mean it. Anybody that we sent it to ahead of time and read it, they enjoyed it. And it's very practical, okay? So that's the commercial part of this program. Okay, we love you guys. Got a great week planned. Talk to you soon.